What's up, y'all? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. I just want to read the guidelines before I start. Please be aware you must stay on topic. Any off-topic comments, disgusting, disrespectful comments will all be removed. You are entitled to your own opinions, but respectfully. Please always remember that, you know, you are respectfully entitled to your own opinion. I gotta play my little, black background music or whatever. Um, One second, y'all. Yeah, I gotta play the little background music. I don't own any copyrights. YouTube, I don't own any copyrights uh, to these instrumentals. So I just want to talk about how inconsiderate people have become nowadays. I mean, I spoke about the three I's early on this year. The three I's is inconsiderate. Um, what is the three I's again? Man, y'all gotta go back and look at it. I can't even remember. But I know one of them is, right, inconsistent, inconsiderate, and remind me, hubby, of the other one. Anywho, I talked about that a lot early on this year because a lot of people are damn inconsiderate, and it has gotten to the point now where it is very bad and it is very annoying, when a bunch of adults don't even think to be considerate enough. They don't even ask questions anymore. They don't ask questions. Asking questions for what? What am I asking? You know what I'm saying? Asking any questions for. That's how they think. They say the first thing, they ask you the first question that everybody else asks you. What you doing for the holidays? They didn't even consider that you may not celebrate holidays. They don't think like that because they think for themselves, and they literally think how everybody else think. They don't say, "Oh, let me before I ask this person." And see, look, this is how you know when a person just doesn't care. When they don't consider your life. When they don't care about your beliefs. They not going to ask questions. Let me give you an example. Me and my husband, we don't celebrate holidays. Do you think people even ask or question? They don't. Before they even ask us anything, they assume that we celebrate holidays because everybody else does it, so why don't we? That's how they think. So they don't say, "Hey, how you guys doing? I'm not sure if you guys celebrate holidays or not, but if you do, what are you guys doing for the holidays? If you don't, God bless you still." They don't even think like that. They just instantly, as soon as they see us, "What y'all doing for the holidays?" How do you even know if we celebrate the holidays? People don't even consider, they so inconsiderate, they don't care. They don't care, but these are the same people that want their jobs to care and give a damn about them, though. Your job don't give a damn about you either. Same people that want their family members to care about them so much, and their family members really don't care about them. The inconsiderateness within people is getting worse, honestly. Overall, it's getting worse. The Uber drivers, something is wrong with them. You want to know why something is wrong with them? Because something is wrong with damn near everybody on this earth. You want to know why something is wrong with damn near everybody on this earth? Because they're spiritually dead on the inside. You want to know why they're spiritually dead on the inside? It's really because daddy government guided them in the wrong direction and they went that way. And that's what they wanted. You wanted daddy government, you got him. Now he got you. He got your soul. And the more that things would happen in the media, the more I would be able to see a change within the people. You want to know why? Because they are letting the algorithm affect their minds, infect their minds. It's the algorithm. And it's the fact that you just let I really want to break it down to y'all in the best way I could, because it may sound like I'm all over the place with it, but if you don't understand where I'm coming from, if you don't have to experience the things that I've had to experience, if you don't see what I see, then yes, you will be blinded. Yes, you won't get it. No, you won't get it. You say it is horrible. It is a horrible common assumption people carry that they should drop an understanding. Everyone isn't the same. Everybody ain't the same, bruh. Just because you got a million people that celebrate holidays don't mean that we do. Okay? Just because everybody feed their kid. This is another one. Everybody always trying to offer us candy for our child. And we don't want to take that because she doesn't eat candy and she doesn't like sweets. And people are just so in awe about that. It's like, what do you mean she's a kid? It doesn't matter. This kid, she don't eat sweets. She don't like it. And we can't force her to, oh, just give her some candy. No. And then it's like when you tell them no, it's like well, I was just, and then here comes the narcissism. See, people take inconsideration to the next level. The inconsideration turns into narcissism. Because when you speak up and you speak out about them being very inconsiderate, they have a problem with that. For instance, we get people always trying to, offer our child a piece of candy, and we tell them no, she doesn't eat candy, she doesn't like candy, and they do that thing that, oh, she's a kid, doesn't matter. Respectfully, this is our child. We stated she does not eat candy. Oh, well, I was just asking. I just wanted to give her a piece of candy, and I just wanted to let you know that we said no. And then they get mad because they want to control. Inconsiderate people always want to be in control. They always want to have the upper hand. And this is exactly why I put a clock as the thumbnail, because a lot of inconsiderate people, first off, they're inconsiderate of your time, period. And it's a shame because you shouldn't even be, you say it's like folks don't think like, well, let me be this way because I want to be treated this. You know what I'm saying? They so inconsiderate, they don't even consider the fact that, you know what? Let me chill. Okay. You know what? I am sorry. I apologize. I thought everybody celebrated holidays. That's just the mindset that I would live in. See, people so inconsiderate, they don't even take accountability. That's next. They hold no type of accountability at all. What's up, Demi? You said just because they white don't mean they racist. Also, just because Tyrone has on black doesn't mean he has a 44 baby mama issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. People always assuming. They assume too much. And that's the type of world we live in. And it gets very, very annoying when you have to put a person in a place respectfully because they so inconsiderate, they don't respect you. That, like I said, they don't respect you, they don't respect your time, they don't respect your beliefs, they don't respect nothing. They don't even respect, you know, well, yeah, they don't respect. They just don't, they have no respect. A person is so inconsiderate that they are willing to schedule an appointment with you, right? Like, for instance, situation today, prime example. Man, I had a lot of situations. Me and my husband had a lot of situations today. I don't know what it is that's going on in the atmosphere, but that's exactly why I had to come on here and do a live stream. I don't know what it is that's going on in the atmosphere, bro, but everybody, and it ain't even just a certain specific culture. It's like everybody is something wrong with people. They are all turning into like these severe covert narcissists. They are all playing the victim. They are all inconsiderate. None of them has respect. They have no respect. Not a damn Uber driver, not a damn receptionist, shit, not a cashier. Like, everybody just straight up disrespectful, bro. And then it's like, soon as you put them in a place and you require respect and you let them know, hey, I require respect me, I respect you. It's like, oh my God, what are you talking? And it's like a bunch of childish ass adults that we didn't have to deal with today. Bunch of childish. We came outside to be at peace. Ain't nobody come outside to argue with y'all. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. But damn it, get it together, because I don't, whatever your issue is, don't take it out on me. What's up, Too Long? What's up? What? Yeah, get chat room going up out of here. Get chat room going up out of here. You're gonna respect me. That's the thing. You gonna respect me because I respect people. I don't disrespect people. That's what they do, bro. And then let me tell y'all. So my husband was live earlier, right? This person came in there. It's a person that always come in there to just say something very just off the wall stuff, just rude, I always want to go against his topics or whatever. So we called this person out finally. You know what, bro? He said, I didn't say anything. He or she say, I didn't say anything wrong. What they say? I just said blah, blah, blah. The thing is, right, when you come in, when you, hold on, y'all. Because this is what I'm talking about. The inconsiderateness. I had an appointment scheduled literally 30 minutes ago. This person decides to call me way after the appointment time that was scheduled. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. I don't play them type of games. I'm very serious about my time, though. You're not about to play with me. If we schedule a time, it is that time. We're not finna go. It ain't about to be 10 minutes after that, 5 minutes after that, especially if you don't communicate, though. That's the thing. The communication is horrible with people nowadays. They don't even communicate. They don't even say, hey, I apologize, I'm running behind. It's because they're inconsiderate. And they do this shit to people all the time. And I ain't one of those. I'm not a, oh, it's okay ass person. especially if you don't communicate professionally with me and you let me know like in advance, hey, I got this that came up, blah 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 blah, I apologize, are you available for us to push it back at this time, or are you available at this time? They don't even do that. They just be like, running behind. Oh well, this person will be fine, I'm still gonna call them anyway. No. But when I call people out, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Something wrong with me though. I'm the one that's I'm getting rowdy. I'm getting angry. It's always something wrong with a person that want to call somebody out on their shit. Real talk. But let's go back to the covert narcissists that's worldwide, everywhere. They're all around us, right? Let's go back to this. Because this is exactly what the hell I've been talking about for the last few days, bro. It's like people have become so like severely narcissistic now that they are willing to argue you up and down that they are the victim, bro. After they have pretty much assassinated your character, you know, talked down on you, criticized you, all of that. After they done just disrespected you blatantly, and you say, hold on, it's time for me to stand up and speak up, they turn into the victims all of a sudden. The minute that you speak up for yourself and that you defend yourself, they turn into the victims. Now it's like, what are you talking about? All I said was, see, look at you. So let me say something. My husband was live earlier. There was a narcissist in his live stream. Same narcissist that always coming up. Now, we don't really pay the trolls no attention. You know what I'm saying? We'll address the person if we got to. Kick them out if we got to. You know? This person said some off-the-wall disrespectful stuff. Me being the moderator, I said, respectfully stay on topic, you know? This person said, what are you guys tripping for? All I said is, he only still has one view. I said, that is not the topic. The topic is pinned below. It is always pinned below. Okay? So they started trying to play the victim, saying that we were gaslighting them. Now we're gaslighting them, you know? After they came in, said something that they wasn't supposed to say because it wasn't the topic. And apparently, I guess we just sensitive as people or something. So I said, you know what, let me cut to the chase. All right, now you're being narcissistic and you're being childish. If you would reading is fundamental, by the way. If you would read, you would be able to see the guidelines in our live streams that we as moderators created ourselves, and we posted in a stream for you to read so you can know, hey, this is why you're getting kicked out. This is exactly why I had to read the guidelines before I started speaking, because apparently people just don't get it. They feel like, oh, I'm going to be off topic, inconsiderate, not going to care about what the hell they talking about on this stream. And I dare them to address me, because if they address me, I'm going to cry out the victim. I am the, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything wrong in your stream. All I said was your glasses is black. That's not negative. It ain't negative, but it ain't the topic. Oh, you guys are just sensitive. Oh, you guys are just tripping. You see, this is how the narcissists work. You said people are very inconsiderate, but we gotta, I guess, hold our peace. When we break, they win. The Most High don't sleep. You feel me? Right, keep our peace. He said they will never get our energy, and whoever said I had one view, I'm like, okay, that's how you introduce yourself. What's up? You got one. You feel me? Like, when a person feeling where you coming from, you know, when you talking on the live stream, they're going to engage. Like Demi, they're going to comment. Like, you know, my husband. Like other people that come in here, they comment about the topic. I said that we are talking about the topic, okay? It says stay on topic, stay engaged. Any off-topic comments, rude or inappropriate comments will be removed immediately and you will be blocked from the stream. Stay positive. But they say we being sensitive. They playing a victim. These narcissists, they work in so many different fields. It don't even make no sense. I have to deal with a narcissistic woman today. By the way, I just want to tell y'all my experience. And the video that I have is on this phone that I'm on. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to be extremely detailed and stuff like that. So I want to, watch what I'm saying because I don't want to share too much information. So, true story, this happened today, dealing with a narcissist. This lady, who I never met, don't even know her from a can of paint. Anyway, I scheduled my daughter an appointment, okay? For a specific time. I'm just going to say specific time. I ain't going to give out no times and stuff. So anyway, appointment was scheduled days in advance, all right? They even sent me the confirmation, all of that. Now, mind you, this is her first time going to this specific type of place. So she needed a great experience because they deal with children, especially being that she's so young, she needs a great experience. So we get there 15 minutes in advance. Mind you, when you schedule an appointment, they send you like everything through text message or email on what you need to bring and stuff like that. They never, not once in those messages said arrive 15 or 10 minutes prior or 5 minutes prior, to your appointment time. But we just did that because that's just how we are. We like to be early, that way we can get called at our exact appointment time. Well, the thing is, we got there, the waiting area was crowded, kids everywhere. I'm looking like, wait a minute, it's feeling like they must have overbooked everybody or something. Those were the vibes that I was getting. So when I look over at the receptionist desk, there is about 6 women, okay, 2 Caucasian women, and the rest of them 4 of the other women were Hispanic, okay? So they're handling everybody as they're coming in, they taking their information or whatever so they can go sit in the waiting area. Now, mind you, it's 15 minutes prior to my child's appointment time. So the lady calls us over, Hispanic lady. She says, oh, okay, you sign out forms online, blah, 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 blah. I got 2 more forms that I need you to sign. I'm like, okay. She gives me the paperwork. She gets the phone call. She gets on the phone. I'm standing in front of her. I read before I sign. You heard me? I am a very considerate person, so I read before I sign. Okay? I'm not going to sign my child's life away either. So the first page was, relevant enough to get a signature. The second page, I didn't like what was being said. It did not apply to my child either. So therefore, I was not going to sign, okay? It said something pertaining to we have to do this, that, and a third if it is administered and the parents are not allowed in the room at all. They have to stay in a waiting area the whole entire time if this is administered. So I said, okay, I won't be signing this second page because it's not relevant. My child won't be getting anything, so I don't have to sign anything. Mind you, even still, I would never to my parents out there, never recommend you leave your child around strangers. We is in 2025. Why would you want to leave your child in a room with strangers? They need you. I don't trust nobody. Real talk. I'm gonna make sure that we gonna make sure our child good. Real talk. So that was a red flag to me. I didn't like that, and I wasn't signing it. Plus, it wasn't relevant to my child anyway. So The lady told the person that she was on the phone with, hold on, put the phone down. And I saw the frustration in her face. Her face started turning red. She looked at me. It was definitely very ghetto. She looked at me and she said, yeah, I heard you say that you don't have to sign this. Will we give you this to sign because blase, blase, blase. I said, I understand. Well, the first page was relevant enough for me to sign, and I read that, so I signed it. The second page I read, and I don't agree with that, so I'm not going to sign it. And, my child, nothing is going to be getting administered to her at all. So, you know, I said, by the way, I would never leave my child in a room alone by herself around a bunch of adults. It's very weird. She was like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm just letting you know, like, today is your first visit here, so obviously you're going to be in a room with your child. I said, yeah, I know that. I am aware of that, because if we weren't going to be in a room with our child, guaranteed we was going to turn right back around and go back home. Trust me. She said, oh, yeah, yeah, I was just letting you know because I heard you when I was on the phone and you were saying that you're not going to sign this, but, it's just proper procedure. We just ask that all parents sign this in case this does occur. I said, well, in my case, it won't be occurring, so I'm not going to sign it. I hear you though, but I'm not signing that because I'm not one of those type of parents. You know what I'm saying? She said, oh, okay. I said, so here's your pen and here's the other blank sheet of paper that I didn't sign. She said, okay, you guys will be called soon. All right. Mind you, she was very irritated. You can see it all in her face. Very pissed because I refused to sign a paper that didn't apply to my child. It did not apply to her. Let alone I, as her parent and her father, we would never leave our little girl in a room by herself around a bunch of adults that she don't even know. Why would I sign off on something like that? Are you crazy? Come on now. I care too much about my children, period. So, and I understand there's people out there that really don't even think twice and they really don't care, what happens to their kids and stuff like that. Yeah, anyway, so we go sit down or whatever and time just flying. So I look at my phone, I say, all right. Now, it is 5 minutes after her appointment time. You know what I'm saying? We got here 15 minutes prior to her appointment. Why is we still sitting here? Why hasn't nobody came out into the waiting area, updated us? Mind you, kids getting called to the back and everything. The whole waiting area damn near empty at this point. And we're just still sitting there. Now I'm starting to feel like, based off of my refusal to sign off on something I had not agreed to, we were getting treated differently or something, But I didn't want to think that way, so I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to give them a few more minutes and I'm going to go up here. Matter of fact, I had my husband to go up there and ask. A few more minutes came and went. Still, they steady calling other kids. Mind you, I'm looking like, wow. And they just had no care in the world that we already signed in 15 minutes prior to the appointment. We got there early, no consideration whatsoever. They was ignoring our presence pretty much. So he went up there and he asked the lady at the receptionist desk and he said, yeah, how you doing? I just wanted to know, how much longer because we actually got here early, way before her appointment time. Lady flat out told him, I don't know. I don't have a time for you. So he came and he sat back down, didn't even speak to me about it or whatever. So I'm looking at my phone. The next thing you know, it's 15 minutes past the appointment time. You know what I'm saying? 15 minutes past the appointment time at this point. I told him, I said, okay, now I'm about to go up here and have a talk with somebody. So I went to go and talk to the Hispanic chick that really initially got upset that I wouldn't sign the second sheet of paper, and I just said, hey, I just want to know what's going on. Yeah, we've been sitting here for a little minute now. I just need a time. What nobody's updating us. What's going on? She was like, oh, we don't have a time. I said, the other lady just told my husband y'all don't have a time. Yeah, I know we really don't though. We have a lot of, chilled patients that need this and they need that. And those patients that you saw that's getting called, they came here, because they need to, get a procedure done. I said respectfully, I don't have anything to do with what another child is getting done. I just know that me, myself, and I made an appointment for my child who needs to get seen at that exact appointment time. And I said, by the way, if she wasn't, then someone should have updated me and gave me a specific time and said, hey, this is what's going on. We apologize about the wait. We'll be with you guys shortly. Nobody said anything. You feel me? No communication, inconsiderate. Period. So she says, okay, well, I do see here that you guys did check in 15 minutes early. Yeah, we don't have a time at this point. I said, okay, can I speak to a supervisor? So she rolled her eyes and she got irritated when I said that. She rolled her eyes and she said, she's not here. Our supervisor, I said, oh, your supervisor isn't here. I said, okay, can you provide me with her information or his or her information so that I can give them a call, and speak to somebody about how things are going here? We can't give out their information. I said, okay. I said, so I see that you guys have a policy. Your policy says that anybody that is checked in before 11 a.m. gets a 15-minute grace period. But anybody that's checked in after 11 a.m. doesn't get any grace periods at all. And as a matter of fact, if it's after 2 p.m., you get turned around if you're late. I said, with respect, we were here way ahead of time. We deserve some answers. She said, well, yeah, we don't have a time. Just kept saying the same. I said, okay, so my child should be getting seen with 15 minutes after her appointment then. Since y'all require people to be on time and, also you willing to give a 15-minute grace period, I'll give y'all one then. How about that? And she was like, okay, yeah, well, she'll be seen in a couple minutes. I said, okay, that's more like it. So I went to go sit down. Next thing you know, 3 other kids get called, except my child. And I said, oh no, and time is going. So I get up and I go to the main receptionist. This lady was so damn irate, so damn disrespectful when I tell you. And this was the white lady. She said, I said, hey, I just wanted to know what's going on again. We have been sitting here for way too long. I need a time. When is my child going to get seen? She said, we don't have a time for you. So I said, oh, okay. Well, I said, let me make this clear. Next thing you know, it was a few Mexican families that stood up in the waiting area and they just trying to listen to what I'm saying. So I made sure that they can hear me so that everybody can hear me clearly. Just like everybody that comes in these live streams, they hear me talking, they hear me clearly. I wanted people to hear me and hear what I'm saying because I need y'all to understand something. As an adult, do not allow anybody to disrespect you. Period. As an adult, you speak up and you speak out for what's right. And people act like, that was their first time ever hearing and seeing someone speak up and speak out. So I had to make myself clear to this lady, and I said, we got here, like I told the other lady down there, 15 minutes prior to my child's appointment time, respectfully. We sat here 5 minutes past her appointment time and no one said anything to us. Nobody communicated. Nobody came out and apologized. Nothing. Instead, y'all sat here and called about, 6 kids to the back. I said, then we let it go on another 10, 15 minutes. And here we still sitting. Still nobody saying. I said the waiting room is almost empty at this point. So when is somebody going to call her to the back so she can get seen? She said, okay, so let me get this straight. You want me to get up and go and kick all of these children out of the room so that your child can get seen? I looked at her. I said, here we go. Here we go with the narcissism. I didn't say it out loud. I was just saying this to myself. I said, wow. I said, ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to do that, that's on you. This is your job, ain't mine. All right. So if you want to get up and go kick some kids out of a room, then you can. I never said for you to do anything like that. So please don't sit here in front of everybody trying to make it seem like, oh, this patient's mother said that she wants me to go kick all of the little children out of the room so that her daughter can get seen. I never said that, ma'am. I said, and I asked for a time so that my child can get seen. You and your nonchalant, irate behavior as a damn adult who's probably 50 or 60 plus is just ridiculous at this point. You're acting like a child, ma'am. She gets mad. She turns red. She stood up from her seat. She said, okay, so let me get this straight. You just want us to rush and you want these doctors that's doing procedures on children to rush for your little child? I said, hold on now. Let me tell you something. Once again, we got here 15 minutes prior to the appointment time. We sat here and we waited patiently way after. Y'all wasn't even giving us any type of updates, anything, nothing. You wasn't saying nothing. I said my husband came and asked you 5 minutes after her appointment time what was going on, and you gave him attitude and you said you don't know. We don't have a time for you. Flat out. You say it's crazy because that happened to me before. Right. Yeah, right, exactly, because they believe that all black women is impatient. To be honest, when I set an appointment, and this is what this lady told me. When I told her, once again, we set an appointment time, and that's the time that we expected for our child to get seen. She said, oh, well, it doesn't work like that. And I'm sure you know that. When you go and you make an appointment for your child, you don't get seen right away. I said, that might work that way in your world, but the world that I'm in, I don't allow people to continue to push the time back without communicating with me. You know what I'm saying? I told her, I said, it don't work like that for me. Because when I set appointments for either myself or my child, or my husband sets an appointment for himself, we get seen at that appointment time, because we have people that is willing to professionally communicate with us and let us know what's going on, even if there is a delay. And that's just something that y'all not doing here. So she said, okay, well, we don't have a time for you then. So let me get this straight. You want me to go and rush the surgeons, the doctors? I said, I never told you to do that. She got up from her seat and ran to the back. I said, let me tell you, while you're on the run, make sure you let them know that my child was here 15 minutes prior to her appointment time. Make sure you let them know that y'all had us sitting back here for 20 minutes extra without saying anything to us. Make sure you let them know that I said this, I'm not going to say a specific appointment time, but I said make sure you let them know that this specific appointment time she should have got seen too. Make sure you let them know that. She said, whatever, and ran straight to the back. So she comes back, and I said, oh, so did you let them know? She said, I talked to someone higher up, and they said that they don't have a time for you either. So I said, okay, oh, wow. I said, wow, you said that you talked to someone higher up? Yes, I did. I said, oh, that's funny because I was told that when I wanted to speak to a supervisor, that y'all don't have one on site, that they're not here, that there's not any numbers or anything that you could provide me with. I said, so I want to ask you, can I go and speak to them? Can you bring them up front so I can have a conversation? Well, they're doing a procedure right now. I said, but you just walk back there to go and talk to them though. Okay, well, we don't have a time for you. So are you going to stay so that she can get seen? I said, I need to speak to some. I said, if she don't get seen right now as we speak, then I'm going to need to speak to somebody. Y'all going to have to make a call or something. Because somebody need to be held accountable that's here, You said you want me to get Homeland Security numbers for you, baby girl. What you mean? You a moderator.
Yeah, my phone had that.
Oh. So I told this chick I need the information. She refused. She declined to give me info. I said, okay, can I have your name? No, I'm not giving you my name. I don't have to provide you with my name. I said, oh, you don't? So who told you that? Yeah, I don't have to provide you my name tag. It's not here. So therefore, if it's not there, I don't have to give you my name. Childish as woman who looks like she's in her 50s or 60s. So I said, I said, I just got one question, ma'am. What's wrong with you? Respectfully. Nothing is wrong with me. I just don't have to provide my name to you. I said, when you work in this type of industry, you got to provide some type of name, initials or something. You got to. You can't not identify who you are because I'm talking to you. And you got my information, my child's information. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got my child's information. Obviously, my information was probably passed around to her anyway, because she probably was like, let me see who this chick is when I walked off. And I said, okay, how about this? Let's go about this the easy way. Could you provide the manager with my information? Absolutely, I could. What's your name? I said, I'm not going to give my name. I'll give my phone number. And you could tell them to call me. Matter of fact, I'll provide the patient's name, who was my child. You know what I'm saying? Same patient that y'all doing wrong and stuff. And you can okay, I'll do that. So you're going to stay? I said, I need to be seen now. So, lady walks around the corner or whatever. A young lady, she walks around the corner respectfully and she says, hey, I'm ready. You guys can come to the back. So we get to the back, but I'm hearing everybody at the front gossiping. Oh, yeah. Trust and believe, y'all. I took care of that problem. Trust me. I ain't do nothing to nobody and harm nobody because, see, you got people on here that's watching me anyway, and they believe that I am a threat. So, nah, I didn't harm anybody because I know that's what y'all probably waiting on, but I handled everything the legal route. Yeah. See, she told me we're a private practice, so we don't have to give you any type of identification. What? That's where you messed up at, ma'am. That's where you messed. Then you talking to a person that went to school as a medical assistant. You talking, and I didn't even mention that to her. I just let her think whatever she want to think. So one of the doctors came to the back, you know. She said, "How you guys doing today?" I said, "I'm sure that you saw all of that that's going on. We're doing okay, but at the same time, ma'am, it's too much chaos. I need some information. I need you to provide me with some information." So now she's in on it too. She can't provide me with the information. All she knows is their supervisor is not going to be into next week because she left early, you know. I said, "Oh, okay, so nobody can provide me with any type of information so that I can make a call to let this person know how everything's going up in here." "No, we can provide you with her name." "Oh, just her name, no information, no number, no email, nothing." "Yeah, Leticia. Yeah, everybody got a boss. Just because you believe that you're a private practice, you got to think about it. Who allowed you to be a private practice? Y'all still gonna be under fire regardless, bro. I don't play them type of games." And then the fact that my child had to sit there and witness, you know, a unstable creature yelling, hooping and hollering, and then they be the first one to point the finger and say, "Oh, you know, she blah 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 blah." This lady turned into a real narcissist and tried to say that when I corrected her early on in her little conflict that she created, I said, "I never told you to go and kick children out of a room. Don't even sit here and try to say that I said that out of my mouth, because those are not the words that came out of my mouth. The words that came out of my mouth is, can I have a time as to when my child would be seen? Can I have an update? If you want to go do that, you can. So I don't know what made you even think to say something like that." She said, "Well, that is the impression that you're giving off." I said, "The wrong impression in your eyes. You got the impression completely wrong, all twisted up, turned around, and wrong. See, you judging me and you assuming. Why would I want you to go get up out your seat as a receptionist and go kick all of the kids?" That's probably because that's what you wanted to do, because you're miserable, because you're evil, because you don't like children. Oh yeah, I took care of that. With respect, I took care of that um legally. So I just want to know. I just want people to know, like, I'm really like that. You may think that you're gonna get away with something for so long, but you really not. I take care of what I gotta take care of. I'm not gonna tell you. I ain't gonna let my, left hand know what my right hand doing. I'm gonna just let you keep doing what you do. Period. Yeah. I'm gonna let you keep doing what you do. Keep thinking that you got the upper hand because you sitting in this position. See, people be abusing their power for nothing. If you have the authority to help and you sit in a position that you sitting in as to where you can help, as to where you can make other people smile, because you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with clients, you're dealing with people, and you're sitting in a position where you can help, and you do the total opposite of that just because of your strong hatred that you have for whatever reason there is, all you're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get dealt with. You said you thinking you winning, just remember the table. Yeah, the table's gonna turn all the time. I'm telling you. I just had to break that down also to the people that's out there watching me, that hate me, that don't like me and stuff like that. I just wanted to break that down to y'all. So just, always keep that in mind. I'm one of them. I'm one of those type of people. If you really want to know how I am, see, back then I ain't know no better. I was very ignorant for real. Now you got the right one. You got the right one. When it comes down to not only myself, but my children, you will not, and I will not allow you to disrespect me in front of my children. I will not allow you to traumatize my children. I will not allow that. You may think you getting away with it because you in the moment of doing it, and you feel like, huh, I'm going to keep doing what I do. Oh, okay. Keep doing what you do then. Because I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. So I want to tell y'all another incident that happened the other day. Man, I'm telling y'all, these narcissists been all over the place lately. True story. Other day, right? DoorDash situation. So this guy, he was a rainbow community member, if you know what I mean. He was a black man. I didn't have an issue with, his that don't got nothing to do with me. Your sexuality and what you practice has nothing to do with me. I require respect. That's the only thing. And he was doing the damn thing. I can't knock him. You know what I'm saying? He was doing what he do on the app. Um, he was taking pictures. He was communicating really well. I had no clue that this man was, very flamboyant. I'm gonna just say that. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know who he was. All I know is he was doing his part. Okay. So then he kept calling my phone. You know what I'm saying? So my husband answered the phone and he was like, "Hello." And the guy was like, "Yeah, that's when, obviously according to his voice, we can tell very, flamboyant, feminine like. No disrespect. I'm just describing his voice. Yes, for sure. Jesus is coming. Walter. We live, we don't judge. Right, right, right. See, this is what let me tell y'all something. All right, I want to address the rainbow community. Real quick. Real quick. I want to address the rainbow community. I need y'all to understand something about me. I may not practice the things that you practice because, I'm a woman that likes a man, okay? That's just how I roll. How you roll is how you roll, and that ain't got nothing to do with me. But when you disrespect me and my family, then there is a problem. It ain't got nothing to do with your sexuality, sexuality at that point. So I just hate when they become narcissists, when people in the rainbow community become narcissistic and then they try to make it seem like, oh, you just hate me. I'm the victim and you hate me because of my sexuality. It ain't got shit to do with your sexuality. It's who you are as a person. You a messed up person. And if you messed up, you messed up. Period. And if you don't like what I just said, what you gonna say about it? I'm just saying. I don't care about what you do in the bedroom, who you sleep with, how if you play with yourself or not, or what you interested in. I don't give a damn. But you ain't gonna disrespect me though. You ain't gonna be racist towards me though. Regardless, regardless of your culture, because yes, black people be racist towards black people as well. You know. Yep. There you go, I was trying to say Malcolm. Walter, there you go. Yeah, Leticia. I'm just saying. That's a one thing about the rainbow community, bro. Like, and this is what the guy from DoorDash was on. It was like the minute that he heard my husband's voice, he got irritated. He got mad for nothing. He started flipping out on the phone, and I'm like, what the hell? Now I'm listening, and I'm looking like, why is he talking like that? So my husband was like, bro, just he really just mad though. You already know why. I'm like, yeah, look. But why though? If that's how you want to be confident with being that because that's how you want it to be, right? So why you don't have no confidence then? Why you getting mad at other people assuming that they're shaming you for what you decided to become? You feel me? You assuming though. Bro, just give me my food, my groceries, and move around, bro. Don't nobody care about none of that. You want to be that way. You want to be a woman. I ain't tell you to be that way. Shit, I ain't tell you to wake up today and put on some tight ass jeans and get to switching around and acting like a female. I didn't tell you to do that. You wanted to do that yourself. So with respect, be yourself then if that's how you want to be. Just saying. Um, I appreciate that, Leticia. Thank you for stopping by and engaging. Shout out to you. Same thing that's wrong with you, PSX. It is, Walter. It is. Definitely is. You know what I'm saying? But I need them to understand. I know, see, me and you both, Walter, we know that. We know it's a sin. You feel me? Hey, look, don't let me get to going. We know it's a sin, but look, hey, you gonna dwell in your sin and you gonna get dealt with at the end of the day. I don't I don't disrespect you though. I'm not gonna not respect you. At the end of the day, if you respect me, I respect you back. That's all I care about is just respect. And then if you got a job and you doing your job, do your job, bro. That's all I'm saying. You decided to choose this type of job to do. And to be honest, on a very, very extremely cold day, my husband was even saying, man, if we had it to where we can tip him, we could. This was before the guy called and started acting weird. Because I was telling my husband, I said, man, I'm looking on the app. This guy is doing what he's supposed to do as a dasher. You know what I'm saying? A lot of door dashers don't care. And to be honest, I've been a door dasher before, and it it's only what you make it. Yes, you will have to deal with people, but my problem was always at the restaurant. I always had to deal with these negative ass people that work in the restaurant business as a dasher. Dealing with people that need their food and stuff like that, I never really had to encounter negative people. Now it was a few people, you know what I'm saying, that was being petty and stuff like that, but I didn't let them ruin my day. This guy just assumed that my husband felt some type of way about his sexuality or whatever, and he got mad and just started acting weird on the phone, talking about some. All I need is y'all address because I got turned around. Okay. And he was like, okay. And I'm just saying the address in the background. You know what I'm saying? So the guy calls again. So my husband picks up. He said, where's y'all at? Because I keep getting turned around. You know what I'm saying? Which, okay, I understand. A lot of people, a lot of dashers and Uber Eats drivers and stuff, they get turned around coming over here. It is very confusing, but we respectfully guided him. He pulls up. You feel me, Walter? Yeah, shout out to Walter. Shout out to him, man. Said the devil is taking over the minds of the weak. Yes. We are living amongst the spiritually dead, Walter. They are the spiritually dead. Real talk. Yes, it is, Walter. For sure. It is. We guided him all the way. So he said, I'm gonna just put it right here. I said, well, you have to pull up to where, we can see you. Now, mind you, on the app, it specifically says, hand to me. Okay? Don't leave nowhere. Hand to me. I'm just saying because I don't trust people, I don't want nobody to picking up my stuff and taking it in their house. So the guy starts getting frustrated, you know what I'm saying, on the phone because he's like, oh my God. I said, do you see a sign? If you see a big, tall sign, that's where you park at. He said, oh my God, you do not know how many times I just had to run around past that sign. I said, I understand, but that's the sign. I was just being respectful on the phone. So, mind y'all, he's on speaker. My child is sitting right by me. So she's very smart too. She can pick up and she can hear and see things, she knows when something ain't right. You know, definitely living in the last time, in the last other days. Um. Oh, 1 second. So, um, yeah. So the guy, instead of pulling up where he needs to pull up, he pulls across. 1 second. Instead of pulling up when he needs to pull up, he pulls across the street instead. Which, okay, hey, if you wanna walk across the street, grab all that stuff, walking across, be my guest. You know, my husband was like, I would have helped him if he ain't have such an attitude. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it say hand to me, so now you got to do your job, bro. And it's freezing cold temperatures outside yesterday. He gets out the car, slinging himself around, just, you know. He pops his trunk and yells out very loudly and says, "Is y'all gonna come help me get y'all groceries down?" I'm like, hold on. I wish I had it. This is exactly why we don't tip people anyway. We don't tip you until, if we got it to tip somebody, we're gonna tip them. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they got really good customer service. But we have not came across not one person this year that got amazing customer service, bro. They feel like a person put a gun to their head and told them to sign up for these jobs. Cause you ain't gotta do it if you don't want to. You decided to take that job. Ain't nobody tell you to do that. You said God bless you for speaking up against the devil. Most people will not stand up for Jesus no more. Amen. Real talk. Real talk, Walter. Yes. Yeah, the truth is always pushed here, Walter. Make sure you go check out my other videos whenever you got time or whatever. You know, truth is always pushed here for sure. And we always, always speak about, being close to the Most High God in these times for sure. People got the devil all up in them, man. And this guy, I didn't even tell y'all about the part when I stayed on the phone with him. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, like I said, my daughter, she was sitting right there in front of me. This man is on speaker. So I told my husband to go look out for his vehicle as he's pulling up. So he stood out the door, watching to see what a guy was or whatever. And so the guy is still on the phone with me. And he says, "You know what? I'm bringing y'all food, and y'all got the audacity to have an attitude with me. You gonna have an attitude?" And I'm like, "Who, sir? Are you gotta be talking to somebody else? Who?" "I'm just talking about y'all." I said, "No, no, 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 no." And this was me calmly talking. See, he don't even know, as when he said that, I'm doing something that is self-soothing, which is painting and coloring. You know, he thought that devil thought he was gonna win. He said, "I'm talking to you. I'm talking to y'all. Y'all got an attitude." I said, "Oh, no, 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 no. We don't have an attitude, sir. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but I used to be a door dasher myself. Yes, I do know when you can't find certain locations that it does get a little irritating and stuff. But no, we don't have anything against you, blah, blah, blah." I was just keeping it calm with him. "Oh, okay, I'm just saying." I just had to come around. "Girl, you just really don't know how many times I really had to spin around." I said, "Oh, okay, well, if you're, you pulling up, he'll help you, you know what I mean?" And then I hung up the phone because he was outside with the food. But when he got out the car, he starts yelling as he's standing by the trunk, talking about, "Is y'all gonna help me or what? Damn." I'm like, nah, it's an option. We can, but we don't have to because this is your job, bro. See, you was gonna get help, but now you got an attitude. So, nah. He brings the food all the way to the door with an attitude. Walks off, stomping, mope like, huh, huh, you know. So he goes back to his car. So now my husband get to talking. I said, "Uh-oh, here we go." I said, "No, no, no. This is what we gonna do about this one. No negative energy is allowed here. No, no, I'm out. No negative spirits, evil spirits is allowed in front of this door. No negativity is allowed in front of this door or inside of this house. So this is what we gonna do. Tell him to put it right there. You know? Tell him to put it right there. You don't even gotta you don't even have to hand us anything. Tell him to come and put it right there. This dude drops everything right in front of the entrance of the gate. Next thing you know, can I get the code? You know me, man. You know me. Instead of coming and put it where you needed to put it, you decided that you wanted to put it by the street. So I had to handle the business, you know what I'm saying? Reach out to his employer, which is DoorDash. And when I tell you, they fired that man immediately. They fired him. They emailed me and told me they handled the situation. Trust me, I know he got fired because I used to be a dasher. I used to be a dasher. They do not play. They don't play. Whenever they get complaints that is against their policies and stuff, that something that the dasher is doing, they get rid of them fast. Trust me. I got kicked off the platform the first time, and then I ended up getting, years later, I ended up getting rehired again. And they kicked me off the platform for something totally different. It wasn't because of a customer though, but it was just because of their own doing. They're weird, but yeah, um, yeah. DoorDash don't play. You said what? Yeah. So, um, he probably had other complaints. He probably did. He probably did. You know, um, just sit it. You know, it was all because of his assumption that my husband was going to judge him. No, sir, my husband takes over, you know. See, the thing is, I'm his wife. He's the man of the house. So he's going to take over when I feel uncomfortable. I don't feel comfortable communicating with another man. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna do what he gonna take over. Even if I don't feel comfortable communicating with certain women because they're being disrespectful, he's going to take over. And he's gonna take over respectfully, with respect. He didn't come at this dude or nothing. Dude was on speaker the whole time. This guy just assumed that he gonna judge me for my sexuality, you know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and be the way that I been. Because sir, if you had to carry that attitude that you had through the platform of you doing the job that you was doing, I would have never had no complaint. I would never had a problem with you, sir. I would have gave you a great rating, to be honest. Not even gonna lie. He she my thing is was very what gets me is how they, you know, they really think that they're women. They really think that they're women. And me being a woman, I don't really like that. I don't like that. You think you a woman, you think like a woman, you act like a woman. And you know what's even more sickening, Walter? It's a lot of regular men out here, regular schmegular men out here that act just like that. Very feminine. You know, a lot of men that want them a girl, you know. I'm just saying. We don't celebrate holidays, Dedo, or whatever your name is. We don't celebrate holiday. Right. How you ashamed of the choice that you made? If you made that choice, be that. Be that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. All I wanted was respect, and all I wanted was for you to continue to do your job like you was doing on the platform. Do you not know? We don't know who's behind these Uber. We don't know who's. We don't know their sexuality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just being 100. Now they show profile pictures of Uber drivers, Uber Eats drivers, DoorDash and stuff like that. They show pictures, but I can't look at your picture and judge you and say, "Oh, he must be, rainbow community-ish." I don't do stuff like that, okay? I just say, "Oh, okay, it's going to be a man that's bringing." That way my husband knows to be the one to be right there. Like if it's a woman that's coming, then I'm going to have that interaction with the woman. I'm going to get my stuff from her. But if it's a man and he's here, I'm going to let him respectfully go ahead and do that. Because we just got that much respect for each other. Real talk. Um, you said don't celebrate holidays. Oh, yeah, facts. Well, I appreciate that 817. I definitely appreciate that. You said wishing you peace and love regardless. I appreciate that. Um and we don't care to hear about it either, you feel me? I'm just saying, man, we don't do look. But I do want y'all to understand something to my people. This is the whole purpose of this live stream. I said the whole world is inconsiderate. And let me say it for the people in the back. Whole world inconsiderate. Real talk. Because respectfully, man, people don't even ask questions anymore. They just automatically assume that you celebrate holidays, and this is not just to you 817. This is to the whole live stream, because I said this in the very beginning. I said, man, people don't even ask questions. They just assume me and my husband celebrate holidays because everybody else does it. And then it's like, "Oh, you got kids, you don't celebrate holidays?" No, I do not. Just because I have children don't mean that I have to celebrate. I don't want my children to know about that crap. I was conditioned to really believe deeply in holidays and all of that stuff. Pretty much half my life, and 3.5 years ago I stopped cold turkey. Real talk. What's up, Decoded? Hey, I appreciate you. You said just scrolling through, showing love, stay blessed, appreciate it. You said no, we don't care, Matthew. They be loving they demonic holidays the government made. You know what I'm saying? You said why did you stop? What happened? What happened is what we found out about holidays. What happened is the fact that we never want to partake in something that is very wicked and very evil. That is not of God. We don't do that. We don't want to do that. We were conditioned because we didn't know. We were ignorant to the truth. We had no clue what we were celebrating. We was just celebrating it because, we was told to celebrate it, because family. But then we got older and we had questions and we needed answers, and we found out that way. And then once we found out, that's all it took was for us to find out. Yep, we do better when we learn better. Welcome to the live stream, Rasha. You said any goals for 2026? My goal for 2026, you know what I'm saying, is for me to keep addressing people respectfully. You know what I'm saying? I wanna continue to get better in that area of addressing people. People was looking at me like I was crazy today because I stood up for myself. Because we stood up for our daughter. Shout out to me and my husband, for real. We really be standing on our truth in public too. When we get disrespected, we gonna show you that we require respect. We ain't like the others. They don't care about if you disrespect them and stuff. They don't care. They'll continue to let you disrespect them. Yeah, protecting our peace straight up. All rest of 2025. And shout out, y'all. I just want to let y'all know, if you want to, you can donate to me and my baby's birthday, which is in 2 weeks. Our birthdays is literally one day apart, so next to each other. It's her birthday first, then mine's the next day. So if you want to donate to our birthdays, which is in the next couple weeks, be my guest. You don't have to. You can even donate by subscribing. Hey, hit the subscribe button. Engage. It don't even matter. Any type of support is welcome. If anybody is considering super chats, Cash App, the Cash App is always pinned below next to the title, by the way. Um, hey, y'all can do what y'all want. I respect that. I don't beg for donations either, but if anybody was considering, I just wanted to say that. And also, most importantly, I'm trying to build my channel too. I'm trying to build it up. We want to get the right equipment and everything. Um, because I just want to continue to push the truth on this channel. Somebody told me yesterday that I need to be quiet because I'm a woman and I shouldn't be speaking at all, which I do understand that it says that in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm doing is just pushing the truth. I'm just letting y'all know that, if you stay too far gone, you would have no consciousness whatsoever. You would remain unaware, period. And your soul will continue to die. You will be just dead. You will have a dead soul. I'm just trying to help people out of that. I'm trying to get people on a journey, on their journey, and not running along the destination with everybody else and doing everything that everybody else doing. They all doing everything in unison as it is. So I respectfully just would like to help people come up out of that. For real. Yes, Walter. Um, hey. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The member. So far we got one member. Shout out to them. Oh, I appreciate it. Early birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I need people to understand one thing about me and my husband, man. We stand up for ourselves. We stand up for one another. Real talk. We don't play with these people out here in these streets. Like literally, we don't play with people. Like we don't play with people's kids. And I'm not talking about little kids. I'm talking about grown ass adults. They got mamas and daddies because you a child to them. I mean, you're their adult child. So yeah, we don't play with people kids. But we not gonna play with people kids, that wants to disrespect us and leave it at that. See, we not one of those people that you could just say anything to and then you can leave, especially if you are an authoritative figure. If you are put in a position, like I said, to help others, or you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with clients, either way it goes, if you want respect, we need that from you. Don't disrespect us because we respecting you. And I'm just to my point, I'm just very sick and tired of the disrespect and the inconsiderateness in 2025. So, to your answer, in 2026, my biggest goal is to continue to address people all the way through of the year 2026. And I'm going to continue to demand respect and stand up. And I'm going to be honest with, look, this should be, y'all want to, they want to start trends on TikTok. This should be a trend. And I'm talking about respectfully, though. Y'all want to be trendsetters and set trends all the time, and you look at everything as a trend. Well, how about this? How about in 2026? And matter of fact, starting now, you ain't even got to wait till 2020. Starting now, demand respect from people, especially when you feel disrespected. Stand up for yourself. Matter of fact, and you don't have to do it in a negative way, man. And you go about things the legal route. You ain't gotta beat on nobody, put your hands on them. You don't have to kill them and stuff like that. You don't have to do that. You can just handle it the legal way. Oh, okay. So what is your name? No problem. What's your name? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Miss Smith. You know what I'm saying? Just for example, little do they know you about to go home, get on the phone, report to all go through all the proper procedures, report this specific person, and stand on your truth. People just be they let people disrespect them and they go on about their day. Nah, people need to be held accountable, especially adults, bro. Rob, we do not celebrate Christmas. You said start a prayer channel. Um, um, I could start prayers on this channel. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? See, this is the thing. Like I was telling y'all. Um, so let me tell y'all, man. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People don't have any consideration whatsoever. They just assume that everybody said. Could y'all please start asking people at least, hey, do you celebrate holidays? If so, happy holiday. If not, God bless. Or whatever polite thing you want to say, because I know a lot of people don't believe in God nowadays, and especially in 2025, which is sad. It's very sad. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people have literally turned away from God, and it's so sad, man. But it's cool though, because it's like he's still building his army. See, Satan, it ain't nothing. Satan, it ain't nothing for him to build up his army. He went in soul after soul after soul, day by day, because all of y'all are so far gone. Majority of y'all are so far gone. Um, that your soul is dead. I told my husband, man, I had to X this one person out the picture recently, completely. I told him, I said, man, they soul so dead, I could smell it. It's rotten. It stank. Seriously. It stink. You a horrible person when you make a person literally sick to their stomach for real. You know what? I don't even have time to argue and fight with people because they behavior is so disgusting that it makes me want to throw up. For real. I really get sick when people are just weird. When they just, blatantly disrespectful. Okay, hold on. I just feel so sick to my stomach, especially to know that we live in a world around we live in a world full of adults that can't be adults. They can't be. My bad, y'all. He said, please, dear Heavenly Father, please help this young lady and her family and keep them protected from the evils of this world. Help them in their financial situations and let their love grow. Amen. Amen. Walter, Matthew, shout out to you. Hey, I appreciate that prayer for real. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. You know, that means a lot to me. You know, because one thing I spoke about yesterday is, boy, people will tell you that they praying for you in a heartbeat and they don't even pray for you. You just prayed for me through the app, and I appreciate that. You know, um, yeah, y'all. You know, I couldn't get the setup going. Like how I would usually live stream sitting at the table. I say, let me go ahead and hop on here, man, because I have to address this. I had been talking about it since I got back home. Especially even after, I went through uh the appropriate, protocols to report these people and their actions. I do not. Let me tell y'all something. There is an organization of people on here right now that is watching me, that is trying to figure me out. And one of the biggest reasons is because me and my husband both do stand on our truth and we stand up for what's right. And we don't have a problem with reporting people. And they don't like that. They really don't like that. And I know it could be all different types of things as to why they don't like us. Different types of reasons as to why they don't like us. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all could continue to dislike us and hate us, but we still gonna continue to be the people that we are. We're gonna continue to be spiritually alive as well, and we won't let the devil steal our joy at all. So, we know what we dealing with, and we know that we're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. Period. And if you want to go against what I said, then maybe you should read Ephesians. We're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. A lot of people don't even understand, like, man, why is it that y'all still going through that? Why is it that, this, that, and the third is happening and going this way? Why is it that when you go to this sort of establishment, these people treat you this kind of, this type of way or whatnot? Spiritual wickedness in high places, we got people that's against us that knows people in high places. You know what? That's very crazy, ain't it? We got people that is against us for nothing, that literally knows people that's in high places for them to continue to be the way that they are. That's very crazy. But you know what? We keep God first at all times, and ain't not a soul out here is gonna stop us from doing that. Period. You know, we love one another. We most importantly, we love the Most High God in this house. We pray day in and day out for real, and I'm not even lying to y'all about that. Cause for real, people really be lying though. They be lying and they be like, "Yeah, I pray all the time. I pray every day." And they really don't. I don't play with stuff like that. If I'm slacking, I'm slacking. I really pray. We really pray as a family. We pray in the morning and we pray at nighttime when it's time for a baby girl to go to sleep. We pray over her. Real talk. Because we know that this is an evil, wicked world. We know that. Not only do we just pray, but we say the Bible scriptures. You know, So we got an app on our phone where Bible scriptures pop up in the morning time, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And we read those scriptures. Real talk. And then we pray. And we keep God first at all times. People keep on trying to make it seem like to another person that's unemployed, oh well, you must be doing something wrong because you can't get a job. Or why you don't just try harder? Why won't y'all just, especially to y'all people that believe in God so much, that claim y'all believe in God, tell them to be patient and watch God work. How about that? Because when you are patient and you let God move or whatever, he's gonna really bless you with something that's worth with a job that's actually you worth working at. People be so in a hurry, so in a rush. You know, they say that they believe in God, but they really don't believe that he got them. That's why people be up here very reliant on tangible things. Yes, ma'am. I gotta get off of here though, y'all. I love everybody. Walter, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that was engaging in the live stream. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe, check out my other videos, and don't forget you could donate to the 2 birthday girls, me and my baby. Birthdays a day apart in the next couple weeks. I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. I'm signing off.